Well, when talking about bikes, what are forward controls? Up until recently, I had no idea. This is Project Car Haven, I'm Andy, and today I'll be fitting forward controls to my V-Star 250. So forward controls are just moving the brake and clutch and foot pegs further forward for the rider. It's supposed to improve seating position for someone taller like myself on such a small bike. So within the last 2 months, I've managed to get my open license, which means I can ride by myself. I don't have to schedule a supervisor, so I've had a bit more seat time on the bike. And I found that after a while that my lower back doesn't feel that great. So reading some advertisements online for other bikes, some of them were listed with forward controls. So I googled up what that meant and found out it was about moving these controls further forward. I found that when I was riding my bike, if I stretched out my legs, my lower back would start feeling a little bit better. And I thought it might be nice if I could have my feet further forward more permanently. Hence why we're at this point where I have bought a set of forward controls to fit to this bike. And so that's what we're up to today. So just getting a quick comparison of the way my leg sits on the bike with the controls as they are. Inside this box here is a very well bubble wrapped kit which should reposition all this stuff a bit further forward. It's all billet aluminium, so it's a bit lighter. I went with black just so it goes with a bit of contrast on the bike. It could have had a chrome one. I thought this might stay looking nicer for a longer period of time. So I guess the first steps are unpackage all this stuff, lay it out, and then start pulling all these controls off. Next, it's simply a matter of working on all this stuff and getting this out of the way, and then offering up all the new stuff to see how it might fit together. See how we go. It's time to start figuring out this kit. This is the brake pedal lever, I assume. Start putting bits together. I've already found that the bolts supplied don't actually fit, so I'm going to have to find something else to suit the frame. Just goes to show you can't buy a kit straight out the box and expect it to work, I guess. And that looks like it's supposed to. That'll work, I guess. Pretty sure that goes on there like so-ish. But these bolts supplied don't fit. All right. Well, this isn't all straightforward. The supplied bolts are the wrong thread pitch. And so I had to go out and buy some bolts that will actually fit. The thickness of the bracket is different than the original foot pegs, so to make sure they actually bolt up properly, I had to measure how much available space I had. Turns out I need probably 20mm long bolts. So M10 by 1.25, 20mm long, will now hold these brackets in place. And the other issue we have is adapting an M8 thread to an M6 thread, and they're both male. This doesn't work. So I've had to buy a coupler like this, which I then need to modify, because this is M6 by 1 all the way through, and I need one half of it to be M8 by 1.25, so I can thread that onto there, this onto here, and join them together. Well, I turned the camera off, I forgot to turn it on again and I got carried away. I mounted this upside down, so I flipped that bracket, remounted the foot peg. I managed to get this reassembled. That's working, and the shifter assembly is all done. I changed the M6x1, threaded all the way through. I drilled out to 7mm, then tapped to M8 by 1.25 in this end. So that's connected to this. This is now joined up here. The shifter looks like it'll work. Now it's just a matter of getting on the bike and giving it a test ride. I'm hoping this will hold together. It feels fairly solid, but you never know. So now there's the change in foot position compared to before. Definitely is further forward. It does feel a bit more relaxed, for me anyway. Shifter position is further forward, obviously. It does feel a bit more comfortable just sitting here right now, but I need to take it for a quick test ride and see if, how it goes on the road and whether it's going to be good for the long term. So after that quick little test ride, I realised I'd set the brake pedal and the clutch at about the same angles as they were before, but now that my legs are more outstretched, my feet are more like this. So I raised them up to suit the feet position better. Just got to retest ride to see if that works. Before I go, I've realised the standard air filter bows my leg out. My legs aren't shaped like this, so my foot sort of ends up on the end of the peg here. My solution for that is get rid of this and install an air filter that fits up underneath and out of the way. Get these Allen bolts off to start with. Clamp undone, hopefully enough. This should pull away. Close there, plug there. That's that off. Now, well, I may as well take these brackets off. Not sure I can see that one properly yet. Get this hose out of the way. Oh, I may need to lift the tank up a bit. That off. This filter will end up sitting in here somewhat. Got to get this bracket out of the way first. I think I need to commit to getting the filter on, and if I can, I'm going to have to cut this bracket off because it braces other things as well, and I can't afford to lose the whole thing. Very tight fit. Yeah, that'll work. Enough. All right, now that's out of the way. Let's try and get this back on again. See, now my foot can actually reach the peg without getting bowed out by that old air filter. So I call that job complete.
Successful, I'd say. My leg isn't pressed against a hot air filter. I can reach the pegs easily. and this is a much more comfortable riding position. I don't know if it's a placebo effect, but the change of air filter feels like the bike's faster. It's probably in my head though.
So after that ride, I noticed there was actually a bit of water in one of the front indicator lenses. I tried to remove it, stripped out one of the screws, completely destroyed that lens. So I thought, well, I may as well change them over, because for some reason the rear lenses are clear and look like fried eggs, and obviously the front now has a broken lens. I thought I might try and tie them all together. So I've gone with some smoked lenses, which are still fairly translucent, and switching to chrome bulbs, which still light up amber when they're activated. Now, I did buy new housings for the front indicators, but these bulbs are mounted straight in directly. There's no reflective coating on the back face. These are plastic, those are metal. I did use the bezel rings on those. They were also plastic, so that's fine, but the rest of these are actually junk. Could probably get away with using the lenses if I had to, but yeah, just goes to show you still can find not very good quality parts on eBay. You have to be careful. Well, I guess that's a shorter episode than normal, but I got a fair few things sorted out on the bike. Once the weather clears up, because of course when you start fixing a bike it'll rain, I'll take it out for another ride and continue to enjoy it while I work on other bikes and cars. If you want to see another motorcycle build, there'll be a link to a different build series at the end of this episode. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.